Okay, welcome back guys. I've just finished my other base piece, and so I've set that aside to dry now. Now we get on to the fun stuff. So I have my front piece and I've turned it over so that the back side is facing me, and I'm going to take my internal panels, so that would be LIP and RIP, lip and rip, so left inner panel and right inner panel. And then you are also going to have UT1, so under top one. So the reason that I use these funny little labels is I use U for under instead of bottom, if that makes sense, because when I use the abbreviation B, usually it means for back. So back and bottom can be confused. So that's why I use U for under. And you'll see that when I do drawers and things like that, I use a U for under. So that's a good tip for you if you're labeling pieces for your own use. Use a different letter when you're referring to the bottom. So you can see here that I am dry trialing between my left and right sides of those inner panels and the top, because I want to make sure that they're all going to fit nicely before I glue. And if I've got any warping, I'm just bending against the warping to see if I can try and straighten these out before we use adhesive. And then once I'm happy with that, I'm going to start the gluing process. So I'm going to glue a nice light layer of adhesive to one of these sides. So you can see I've just lined this up with the edge. I haven't used a lot of glue, and it's just sitting there really nicely. This is the beautiful part about tacky glue, which I just love, is that it's so easy to put your pieces together. So we'll be using that very same process with the other side. So you can see here I have flipped it up just like we did with the back piece and the sides, and I am gluing that inner piece for the other panel, and I'm going to line that right up with the edge and use my fingers to make sure that there's no overlap. And then these ones are going to sit upright until they are dry. And then once I'm comfortable that they are dry enough, I'm going to flip that back down onto its face. And I am going to glue in the UT part, which is the under top part for the top of the inner panels, exactly the same way as I did the back pieces for those base panels. So it's going to go in between the two side panels, and it's going to get stuck to the edge of the desk. And I might just zoom in a little so you can see what I'm doing here. So you can see there I dry trialed it first to make sure that it was going to work out the way I wanted it to, and now I'm adding glue to my three edges, and I'm trying to be careful not to add too much, but I do want good adhesion here, so if there is a little too much, that's okay. I'll be able to wipe off any excess. And then, just as I explained before, I'm going to separate those two side pieces just a little bit, just enough to get that inside panel in, and then I'm going to push them into the top panel so that everything joins together nicely. And there it goes. Now we can't use the mat unfortunately to make these flush or line everything up, so we have to do this by eye. What I like to do is use my fingers, and I run these along the edge to make sure that one edge is not sticking out further than the other. And I also I use my line of sight and I check it from different angles to make sure that it looks right. And then again, I can pick up whether any edges aren't flush with my toothpick as I'm clearing away the excess glue as well. It may take a little while for this to dry. You may have to hold it in place for a little while, but that's okay. Just apply some pressure where needed and keep an eye out for any gaps. And then it won't take too long and that tacky glue will hold, and then you can let it go. We're going to take a short drying break now, guys, and when we come back we will assemble this front piece of the desk to the back and bring in all of our panels.